It's that time of the week where we sort of mishmash everything, Hammers Chat Patreon up, and give it to you in a sort of highlight smash of the day type package. Last week on Patreon, there were 9 videos, by the way, not to be missed. One of them was myself and Gio trying to give every player in West Ham a value. That was a bit of a laugh. I say every player. We did half of them. We did the goalkeepers and we did the defenders. Next week we're doing the midfielders and the forwards. Also, there is an interview, early access, with former West Ham under-23 manager Dimitri. That's dynamite. That's some really, really good stuff. Also, if you're looking to join Patreon, we are running a competition at the moment, which are for captain's armbands. One signed by Mark Noble, one signed by Declan Rice. One of those is going to an existing Patreon. One of them is going to a new Patreon. Please do check out the link below to work out how to sign up to Hammers Chat. Primarily, you're supporting Hammers Chat. What we do is we enter you in competitions and we offer a load of additional content. Take it away, Charlie. He does the editing, by the way.
I don't need this. No one needs this. It's honestly a massive. What would impress me tonight was I was going to say if that team came out, if Elise was in it, I guess that would show Moyes saying, "Do you know what? Here's my moral compass." And by the way, I still think Diop shit. I'm giving the youngster a go. Do you know what I mean? I'd think, I like that. I like that.
Dawson.
I was really impressed with Dawson, actually. I thought he had a tremendous game. That game was all about character from him. I just think he read the situation at West Ham, and it was a case of, right, Ogbonna's out. The geezer next to him, he's got problems. Diop, because he was brought on as a second half substitute against Kidderminster. That's how bad Diop was. Bad for Diop to get hooked. And it was a case of Dawson's here. Leave it with me. I'll get it sorted out. Basically, everyone's running past everyone else in that game, right? I mean, all over the pitch. Even Declan Rice, people are running past him. And I thought the only person at that first instant when they clearly had so much pace and so much energy, even though Dawson can't match them for pace. So the only person who said, "Actually, ain't running past me, I'm going to be the rock here," was Dawson. And I thought he carried on from there right until the end. Sometimes there is just somebody stands up and says, "I'm going to do what's needed here," and he did that, and he did it all game, even to the point where it was so on Dawson like when he brought the ball out from the back, but it was what was needed at that point. When a header was needed, he went and did it. When a tackle was needed, it was there. There's turning up for work and there's doing the bare minimum and there's doing a good job, and then there's actually, do you know what, I'm going to do what it takes. Just one of those players, and I know it's a dirty word around here, but Paul Ince. It reminds Paul Ince and Terry Butcher and people like that, and people that are prepared to get bloodied and hurt. Stuart Pearce at West Ham as well was like that in order to get the victory, and I thought he did that. I'll give him an 8 out of 10. Attitude was outstanding.
Now, last night we sent this video to our patrons and we said, "Excuse me, would you mind popping over there into the comment section and leaving your feedback? Give us your review." Our Hammers Chat patrons are reviewing Hammers Chat Patreon to give you guys an insight as to why they joined Patreon, what they like about it. It might even be what they dislike about it. We've asked for their honest opinion. So if you scroll down to the comment section, you'll see what our patrons are saying about our Patreon. You can't get better feedback than that, can you? But if you do join up, links in description in the pinned comments, from £3.50 per month, you'll be entered into a draw for a signed captain's armband. We've got this one here by Declan Rice, and we've got this one here by Mark Noble. We've got 2 signed captain's armbands. We're giving them both away to patrons. One will be going to an existing patron prior to Saturday. Another one will be going to a new patron that signs up between now and Monday. We'll be going live on Tuesday over on Patreon with the draw, where 2 people will be winning a captain's armband. Links in the description, pinned comments, from £3.50 per month. 10% off his sign up for the year. Anyway, last week I met up. I didn't meet up anywhere. I did a video call with him. I did not travel. I interviewed Dimitri, who used to be the under-23s manager at West Ham United. And as part of the benefits of being an addict over on Hammers Chat Patreon, you get early access to all our interviews. So they got a little look at it yesterday, and you're going away to get a little sneak peek, some of his best answers. Hopefully get you in the mood for the full interview, which will be up either tomorrow night or next week on YouTube.
And then recently this season, he scored a couple of goals from coming wide. I think he's quite versatile as well, which really helps. England like to play him wide quite a lot. We've played him through the centre as a 9 quite a lot, but obviously he can play as a 10 or an 8 as well. So he's got that versatility. And he's progressing really well. He loves football. He's a really hungry young man. He loves training. He loves football. He'll just work hard, and you don't see him not put it in a training session. Every training session, he wants to improve. He wants to get better, and he has done. So most of the credit, needs to go down to him really, because he's really accelerated himself, and that's down to what he's put in.
Who sets the tactics for the under-23s? Is it solely yourself, or does the senior manager come in and say, I need you to do X, Y, Z in your team? Can you implement that so the gap between the under-23s and the first team's not that different? Or do you try and copy the first team manager? How do you go about the tactics, and who dictates the way the under-23s plays?
Yeah, a little bit of all of that, to be fair. The academy's got its own football philosophy, the West Ham way, in terms of how it wants to play to develop players. And that's been built on a number of years, and some of that is historic stuff that has been there since day dot, and some of that is new stuff that has evolved. So that's kind of our basis, that's our foundation in terms of how we play football. But then also, because we are so near to the first team, we want to look like them, so that if our players do make that debut, it's seamless for them. They can't make a debut or go over there and train and it be completely different. So we will certainly value whatever the first team manager values at that point in time. So when I first came in, Pellegrini was there, and then David Moyes came in. So there were certainly slight adjustments made in terms of what we would train and what we would focus on, because we want to be able to please that first team manager. We want our players to be able to please that first team manager. So things like the set plays, for example, I would take the set plays solely from the first team really, and make it as aligned to that as possible, so that when they make that debut, it's one less thing for them to have to think about, because they know they've practiced it. 23s need to be as much of a rehearsal for making your first team debut as possible.
Yarmolenko started out on the right.
I mean, you look at Diop and you think, I'm not sure that Moyes is going to be using you too much again. I look at Crowell and I think you're done. David Sullivan was asked in the week if they knew anything that was happening with Alex Crowell, and he don't say an awful lot, Sullivan, these days. He doesn't, and he said, I don't know. CSK Moscow not been in charge, so I guess we're keeping him. That's pretty much what he said. So I think there's a few, for different reasons. I thought, you're not going to feature much. We go out a sub. I thought, we go out of Europe, you're not playing for this club again. And I would put I'd put Diop in that as well, as long as Zuma's fine and stuff like that. There was something different. As you say, with Diop, there was an unfortunate thing about it. You just look at him and think, mate, you ain't just not got your timing's out, the tackle's out. You're not reading the game right. There's lots of things. Yarmolenko, for different reasons, Gio. It was disgusting, actually. The overall performance, the lethargy in the performance was terrible. You get the impression that Fredericks, if he plays, will have a better game again, right? At some point, were he to play. Diop, there will be games where Diop would play and he played there, and we'd be doing this, and you'd turn around and say, "Oh, Gonzo, I thought Diop was a 7 out of 10 today." You know that that's not the end of the line. There's more. There's something else possibly there. Nothing. I just think we're looking at an empty vessel. I think it's awful. I just think it's awful. He's gone. It's terrible. His attitude has gone as well. You can see some real class in that left foot if he could just do something. But he doesn't want to be here. You can tell he doesn't want to be here. No real fight. And I think that's what annoyed me. No fight at all. But unfortunately, not only did he have no fight, he just couldn't impact the game at all. Ironically, he had the shot at the end, didn't he? But talk about paper over the cracks. That's not reflective. Crappy performance. I've had overall disgusting performance. I'm disappointed with a lot of players in there, but I'm disappointed with him for different reasons.
The funny thing is, he was involved in quite a lot of our chances. Like you said, the winner at the end comes from his shot, or disallowed goal. Rightfully, it was disallowed because he was offside, but it's him that makes the run and then puts it across the face to goal for Bowen to knock it into an empty net. Ben Rama went close because he did a 1-2 with Yarmolenko. The funny thing is, our shots, he was involved. I actually got to to the point in the second half, towards the second half, once the subs had been done, once Fornals was on and that, I actually thought we were keeping the ball away from him. I genuinely felt that they were doing everything they could to avoid passing to Andre Yarmolenko. It was like, let's keep the ball going down the left because he's over the other side of the pitch. Let's keep it going down this side. I am going to give him a 0, but there is a part of me which has a bit of sympathy for him. It doesn't excuse his performance. Hell, he's well paid and stuff, but he clearly wants out. We clearly want rid of him. But then just before the January window open, he's got his manager saying, oh, no, I want to keep him here, which could be a good thing. But then he's probably thinking, well, I don't suit the way you play. You don't suit me as a manager. I don't suit you as a player. It's just not a really good match here. Let me get out. Let me get out of the club. To some extent, I don't even think we tried to get rid of him in January because we'd have had to bring somebody in and spent money on somebody to bring them in. I just think that we've got this whole idea that you have to buy someone better than Antonio. So even if we got rid of Yarmolenko, it'd be like, well, we still need someone better than Antonio, and we couldn't find one. So I think that's why he's stuck. I think he's stuck at West Ham for the second half of the season because of that idea that it has to be better than Antonio. This is where mine, yours, and many West Ham fans' frustrations come from. It doesn't have to be. It just has to be better than Andre Yarmolenko. And today is a prime example of why there was a massive in-between. But I'm not angry at Yarmolenko. I'm more angry at Moyes for picking him, to be honest with you. Because I thought, what did you expect? This is what I expected from Yarmolenko today. I am not surprised. I'm a bit I am surprised at Diop's performance. I'm surprised at Fredericks' performance. I'm surprised at Kral's and Noble's. Yarmolenko's, nah, not surprised whatsoever. And the funny thing is, there's only 2 or 3 players I'm not surprised at. He's the only one for a bad reason, though the other 2 did quite well. And I think my one biggest frustration is we still didn't see Okoflex. We needed a goal today. The top goal scorer, the U23, is on the bench and didn't come on. So when are you ever going to see him? Do we need to be 3 goals up before he gets on the pitch? You know what I mean? You know, this is a manager that claims he loves the Red Bull model, but and doesn't play the young lad off the bench that's top goal scorer. He's rolling out Yarmolenko and stuff. Well, it's not really the Red Bull model, this, is it? It's almost like he wants to promote youth when it suits him rather than when it suits the team and when it suits the players and stuff. And it's just frustrating today. I thought, the bench I thought was, I'll be honest with you, I've looked at, I thought, bloody hell, there's not much kids on there. There's only 2, and I'm not sure Elise is going to get on. But the one player that could have come on didn't come on. We had 5 subs as well. It's not even like we're restricted to 3. We had the benefit of doing 5. And I'm sure if you ask Moyes, he would say, well, my intentions were we'd be 2-0 up and I'd take my players off and I'd put him on. But we needed a goal. When you look at goals scored this season, forget about what team they're for, he's probably the top goal scorer. I think Bowen's got 10 now as well as 10 assists. But he's the second top goal scorer behind Jared Bowen. So let's get him on the pitch. He couldn't have been worse than Yarmolenko. It would have been difficult to be worse than Yarmolenko today. And the reason I'm worked up about it is because we don't have Okoflex as an option for against Watford now. Moyes is going to have to cull someone from the bench because Lanzini will be back. I understand Lanzini was just given today off because he's just become a father, so he just had time off to spend with his missus. Sufal had the day off as well for whatever reason, but Lanzini was giving it off, I think, so he could just stay in London with his missus and his newborn and stuff. So a nice thing to do. I expect him back in the squad on Tuesday night. It won't be Yarmolenko that's out the squad. It'll be Okoflex. It'll be him that is hooked. Yarmolenko will be on the bench. I'm very confident of it. It's just what Moyes does.
Thank you ever so much for watching, and thank you to everybody who has supported us on Patreon. We genuinely, really, really appreciate it. Coming up this week, we have got, we've got Leicester opposition preview. We've got a mug of tea. We've got breakfast shows. You see that thing flying around in the background? It follows me around. I think it's like a ghost or something like that. We've got a lot of stuff coming up on Patreon, and also for the second tier and upwards, because we got different tiers in Patreon, myself and Gio will be recording the midfielders and the striker. It's only one, basically the midfielders and Mikel Antonio, and giving them a value. Thanks ever so much for your support. Catch you soon.